Hi everybody, this is Maya Good and this is National Novel Writing Month Day 17. I want to talk to you about where I'm at right now with my novel and when to know it's okay to change your plan. Um, First off, everybody knows I've had issues with my novel this year, but the issue this year is different from any other issue I've had any other year. Even in the years previously when I did not complete National Novel Writing Month, I always enjoyed writing my novels. I never felt like my novel was pointless or useless or not worth pursuing. And that enjoyment is what brings me back each year. Even when it's hard, even when I don't want to write, even when I'm struggling, I enjoy writing. I enjoy my story and I enjoy participating in National Novel Writing Month every time. What I'm experiencing right now is very, very different. And I have not been writing. If you look at my chart, it pretty much is miserable. And that's because that's how I feel. And I have to say, this is the first year that I am not having fun during National Novel Writing Month. I'm not having any fun at all. Um, Procrastination doesn't even begin to like get the tip of the iceberg of what's been going on because it hasn't been procrastination. I haven't necessarily been doing other things. There were a couple days when I did. I edited 2 short stories and sent them out for submission. You know, you really hate your National Novel Writing book novel when you would rather submit to literary journals than sit down and write. That should be a huge sign. But in addition to that, I've spent a lot of time just sitting and staring at my project and trying to figure out why it is that I don't like my project. And at first I thought it was because it was broken. I thought that it was something I could fix. But even looking at it objectively, it's not broken. There's nothing wrong with the story. Yeah, there were some issues, but they were easy enough to fix. The new outline is very clean. The topics are interesting. I feel inspired by the topics, but I'm realizing that I'm not enjoying it because it's not what I want to be doing. I'm at a place right now where I have 2 rough draft novels that have been trunked. They're just sitting in a box. And I've been wanting to edit them, but not feeling confident enough to do it. And I feel confident enough to do it. And the thought of adding a 3rd novel to that stack of to do is really what's making me feel completely paralyzed. I look at those novels and I think, I'm going to have one more novel to edit. And every time that thought passes my head, just all the motivation and happiness just poof gone. And the thing is, why do I do National Novel Writing Month? I don't do it to torture myself. I do it because it's fun. I do it because it's interesting. I do it because it resets my writing for the year. So I'm at a point now where I'm having to rethink why it is I do National Novel Writing Month and how I can change this year so that I can feel successful and not feel like I've tortured myself for a month or wasted the time. I'm giving myself 2 days. It's really weird. Even novels that I have eventually abandoned, I had fun writing them. And I would always abandon them at like 20, 30,000 words. I'm at what, 13,000 words? I just don't want to write it. And it feels frustrating because I've won so many times. I know how to win National Novel Writing Month. I was happy with the videos. Yeah, I missed some of my own steps, but that's not what's going on. The truth is, I don't want to write these novels. What do I want to do? I want to edit past. I want to edit it. I want to write a query letter and I want to get it out the door in February. That's what I want. Like in my heart of hearts, that's what I want. I don't want a 3rd novel to stare at, to look at, to think, oh, now I have to edit that one. I don't want a 3rd novel sitting in a trunk that I'm just going to abandon. I want to progress to the next level. I want to take my writing up a step. And I don't feel like I'm doing that. I actually feel like I'm going backwards. I feel like I'm regressing. And I'm very frustrated. I'm borderline angry at myself because coming into this month, I actually had planned on editing past for National Novel Writing Month. And I chose not to do it because I thought I'd write new words, have something, experiment, self-publish something next year, experiment with something new and challenging that I don't normally write something that was more all-encompassing, something with a lot of characters. I really wanted to push myself in that way. And I'm going to eventually write these books, but I don't think I'm going to write them the way I have them. I think my writers group buddy was right. I think Ken was right that this is going to end up being like a 5-part family epic novel rather than a series to be self-published. And I'm just annoyed with myself for not spotting this in advance because I could have spent this whole time editing past and being really stoked at cleaning it up and seeing it progress and seeing it grow and seeing it change. And instead, I've been fiddling around with a project I don't want to be writing. So I'm giving myself 2 days. If I cannot get motivated by the end of today, the end of tomorrow, I'm going to open up past and I'm going to edit past for the rest of the month. If I get through it, I'm going to consider myself as having completed National Novel Writing Month. So that's where I'm at. I'm a very frustrated writer right now. And the thing is, a lot of people, they come on here onto YouTube and they talk about all the wonderful things about National Novel Writing Month, how you can win, how you can complete, and then they just disappear. A lot of times they disappear because they quit their projects. And they don't talk about why. And I think there are good reasons to quit your project, and I think there are bad reasons to quit your project. If you quit your project because you don't think you're good enough, or you quit your project because you think your writing has no merit, or because you're scared, or you're nervous, or you're fearful, those to me are not good reasons to quit your project, because then at the end, a lot of times regret comes. But if you have a good reason to quit your project and you know that quitting your project is not going to cause you to have regret, then I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And that's where I've been for the last week. I've been sitting here thinking, if I quit writing this series of books right now, am I going to regret it later? And I don't think I will. And I don't think it's a matter of not feeling confident with my writing, because if that was the case, I wouldn't have edited 2 more stories and sent them out the door. So I know that's not the case. I'm happy with where my writing is right now. I'm looking forward to writing short stories. I have no problem with the idea of writing short stories and having them stack up behind me. But the idea of having a third unrevised novel to stare at absolutely annoys me and makes me very unhappy and makes every writing session feel like dread, really. And that's not something I'm used to having. So that's where I'm at right now. If anybody has any advice, this is the time that I could use it, because while I feel confident in like the planning phase and I felt confident in writing a novel that I love, I have no idea where to go from here. Do I complete a novel I'm not excited about? Do I complete a novel that I'm going to have to edit and know that I'm not going to want to edit it? Or do I go back, rethink my process, edit past, and start querying agents? Right now, one feels like being on a treadmill as a hamster and just moving in place. And the other one feels like taking a big step. But at the same time, it's also really easy to get those plot bunnies, to feel distracted, not end up completing anything. So I just want to be sure of what this is before I make that decision. And that's why I'm giving myself the next 2 days. Last night, I managed to write. I managed to write 300 words, and it took all of my strength to do it. The day before, I edited about 10,000 words of short story and sent them out the door. And that felt good. It felt happy. It felt light. It felt like I was moving in the right direction. This doesn't feel like the right direction, but I don't know if it honestly doesn't feel like the right direction, or if all the stress that I was under right on like the day before day one has just carried over and messed up my month, and I just need to get past it. And I don't want to regret it later. So please, any advice you have, I am all ears. And pardon my face, I just did a mask that made me all red. I'm fine. I didn't do a face peel. It's just a mask that kind of brought everything to the surface and made my face a little inflamed. So you can ignore that. Everything is fine on my face front. But yeah, I could really use some advice on what would you do if you were in this situation? If you were in the middle of National Novel Writing Month working on a new project, and about halfway through you realized you just honestly weren't having fun anymore, and that you wanted to work on previous projects and start getting them ready to leave. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to your responses. Until next time, ciao.